Hi, folks. It's VE3SVQ, Keith, up in Ottawa, and here today with another video aimed primarily at newer hams. That's the group that I like to try and post most of my videos to. So I'm going to call this one along the lines of being fast isn't always better. And of course, the key is you have to get on the air. So this particular video I'm going to dedicate to Nate NA2DX, NA2DX, and he's down in Buffalo, New York. So, Nate, you're responsible for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Now, I met Nate yesterday in the Straight Key Century Club site, SKCC SKED page, and we had a nice conversation somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. And very interesting because he was telling me that he got interested in ham radio when he saw one of my videos back on December 28th of last year. So in less than a year, he's gone through all three levels of exams in the States. He's obviously been using single sideband, and now he's on CW. And like me, he said, after a while he just unplugged the microphone and just nothing but CW now. And I can say I've done that too. I took my mic off a long time ago and hadn't used it until a couple of days ago when I put it back on because I have one state left to get in POTA, and that's Montana. And I haven't seen any Montana on in CW. I have seen them on single sideband. So I'm trying to get that last state. So I actually hooked it up, and it was a real strange feeling pressing a microphone and speaking into it again. I almost I almost had on one exchange 599 instead of 59. So it's amazing how you get into a hobby and you start to focus on one part. Now Nate has focused on CW, and one of the things he mentioned to me, and that's why another reason for doing this, if it wasn't for the SKCC and the people in there, he probably would have given up. And that's why I keep going back and people say, why do you keep talking about them? And that's because they're an excellent group when you're a new Morse code operator. They're wonderful and they will really help you out. So this is something to keep in mind, but that was his comment. I would probably have given up if I didn't have this group. So that is again, like I say, key for new people. And, as he also said, new ham operators have nothing to lose by joining the SKCC. And I will go along with that because for one thing, it's free. They have a schedule page where many people will post what frequency they're on, either listening or calling CQ. So you don't have to spin the dial, you just got to turn to the frequency and they're there. And you can send whatever speed is comfortable for you. And always remember, never send faster than you can receive. And they will send at your speed. Many of them will ask you what speed you want to go at. So again, I'll post some of their information a little bit later, but really well worthwhile to join. So I guess the next point I want to make is stop worrying about how fast you are. Everyone gets hung up on, oh, we got to be fast. We have to do, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 words a minute. No, you don't. There's lots of people out there, lots of people around the world for that matter, sending between 10 and let's say 12 or 10 and 15 words per minute. It's a comfortable speed. Again, don't send faster than you receive because most people will answer you at the speed that they copied you. That's something to keep in mind. So you have to get over your so-called key fright, similar to mic fright, and you have to get out there and do it. So what's going to make you faster? Well, one thing, just being on the air. The more often you're on the air, the faster you're going to get. It's just natural. You're learning while you're talking to those first few contacts. And if I look at Nate, he's got a lot of contacts right now. So practice your ICR or instant character recognition and practice it a lot, over and over and over again. And remember, start to decrease your spacing. So if you're starting off at, let's say, 12 and 8, and you know all your characters in the alphabet, well, maybe you should be doing 12 and 10. And there's nothing wrong, 12 and 12. So decrease the space so your brain doesn't have time to try and figure out what the letter was. And that's a key thing. And the LICW does have a practice page on their site, and it's free. You know, they don't charge for people to use it, and that's right on their front page, top right hand corner. And I think you'll find, as with many people, you start using it and then you get interested in the club and you end up joining the club. So you may as well join right at the beginning. But practice it a lot, practice your spacing. Now, Tom, W0FN, who is in the LICW, wrote an excellent article recently on just this. How do you get better at recognizing letters? How do you get faster? Well, for the one thing, you've got to practice your ICR over and over and over again. And I think the biggest mistake most people make, myself included, when I started, we think we know the letters. And if there's enough spacing, you can always get the letter because your brain has time to figure out what it is. So as you decrease that space, it gets harder and harder. But what it's trying to do is we're trying to get your brain to do this instantly. You hear a sound, that's an R. Hear another sound, that's a K. Oh, there's another one, that's E. Instantaneous. In other words, you don't have time to think. Was that a B or a D, right? An H or an S. It's got to be instantaneously. So practice, and practice putting your letter speed up at higher. You know, like I happen to like 20. So 20 words per minute is usually what I'll do. The character will be sent at. And on the receiving end, I don't know. I play with it a bit. Sometimes I do it at 12, sometimes 15, sometimes at 18 for the actual, the spacing or the gap or this words per minute. So you can do lots in there. But Tom made another very good point, and this is one that I'm very guilty of. Instant error recognition, IER. I thought that was a brilliant term because that's a problem a lot of new people have. A lot of us who were taught way back, 1970s, 1980s, we were taught to memorize, you know, dits and das, and they would have charts with them on. So your brain tends to want to decipher. So the letter goes through and it's da dee dee dit. Your brain is saying, now, was that a B or a D? In the meantime, the other guy's still sending, and you've missed all sorts of stuff. So what Tom was stressing was instant error recovery, not recognition, recovery. Instant error recovery. In other words, there's a letter you didn't get. It's gone. Listen for the next letter. Didn't get that one either. It's gone. Listen to the next letter. So don't pause from trying to think back what was that letter combination because you're missing stuff. So Tom was very right. That instant error recovery is absolutely crucial for everybody. And that's one of mine. I did this yesterday. I was very tired. My brain was tired. And I was doing ICR, and then I went on to went on air. Shows how tired I am. Went on air, and I was doing just that. I was, oh, what was that letter? Oh, geez, no, missed that one. What's that letter? No, missed that one. It was just my brain was tired, and I was not doing that instant error recovery. And it shows when you're on the air, when someone's sending you something and you're losing track of what they're saying because you're still trying to figure out what was that letter 4 words back. So that's a very important skill to get, instant error recovery. And you just have to learn, as you go by. If you're doing groups of 3 or groups of 5 and you miss a letter, don't sit there and think about it. Wait for that next letter because it's coming right away. And over time, your character recognition will improve. And then at that point, start listening for words, right? You can do words. Actually, Morse Code Ninja has a lot of ones which are just word practice. Because over time, you're going to recognize if someone sends the letter THE, you're going to know that sound. And without even thinking, you'll say, oh yeah, the. So that's all part of getting fast. But again, you don't get there overnight. This is not something that is suddenly going to happen. It takes practice and lots of practice. So listen to your characters, speed up the character speed. Then once you've done that, what you need to do is make sure that the gap that your brain has to listen before the next letter comes, gets shorter and shorter. So if you're doing 12 and 8, you can up it to 12 and 10. So from 8 words per minute to 10 words per minute, then maybe to 12 words per minute. There's lots you can do and lots you can play around with, but it gets your brain thinking and making an instant recognition of to what that letter or number or prosign was. Now, getting back to Na2DX, another point he made, if you're at the point now where you're trying to get on the air, you can't find people to talk to, you're nervous, whatever, SKCC is a good place to go. Now, I noticed Nate's membership number, 28521, and then the letter T, he actually joined after me. He's got far more contacts than I do. So there you go. That's just, you can use that organization. He's got all sorts of awards. That T says he's been talking to a lot of people. They have a very good award system. I'll post the page later. And, I suggest you go to it. It is free. You've got nothing to lose whatsoever. So yes, it's hard work. No one says learning Morse code is going to be easy, but I'll guarantee you, you're going to start to see a difference when you're on the air. So yes, you can do it. When you're ready, just get on the air. Don't wait to be perfect. You will make mistakes. No one cares. I made all sorts of mistakes in my conversation with him yesterday. Some of it was stupid stuff, but it happens. We had someone at the end tuning up on top of me, so I lost part of the conversation. So what? I still got the gist of what was said. And again, as I said, the more you're on the air, the more you talk to people, the more relaxed you're going to become. And relaxation is key. And I can think of 2 or 3 days ago, I don't know. Usually when I go to get on the air, I practice, whatever it is. If it's SKCC, I go through all the so-called script or protocol, make sure my brain is thinking in Morse code. And I don't know, 3 days ago, I was just super relaxed. And I had more fun on the air than I've had in a long time. It was just, there's someone, let's go talk to them. There's someone else, let's go talk to them. And it was an awful lot of fun. So being relaxed, yes, being relaxed is definitely important. And, just get on the air. If you're having trouble and, I don't know, you're in, well, let's say certainly Eastern Canada, Eastern US, maybe into the Midwest US. If you're trying to make your first contact and you're not sure what to do, send me an email. I'm on QRZ. And if I can, we'll work out something so we can make your first one a little less scary. Happy to do it with you. I've done it for a few people. It's as much fun for me as it is for them, although probably a little scarier for them. There you go. Keith, Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec, also known as the Shaky Key. 73, have a great day. Maybe we'll meet on the air.